Hey guys, Ecotech here. So, let's talk about soundbars. Over the last couple of years, the home audio space has really exploded with companies trying to bring premium, theater-like experiences into smaller, more accessible setups. And in 2025, that trend is only growing. Today, I've been testing out the ULTIMEA Poseidon M60, a 5.1-channel Dolby Atmos soundbar with a subwoofer that promises big, immersive sound without the bulky complexity of traditional surround sound systems. On paper, it looks like one of the most balanced offerings in its price category, and after spending time with it, I think it's actually delivering a lot more than I expected. Let's dive in. Right out of the box, what struck me was just how simple the setup process is. A lot of people hesitate when they hear 5.1-channel surround because they think it's going to involve running speaker wires around the room, drilling holes, or mounting satellites everywhere. But here, ULTIMEA has simplified the entire concept. You've got 5 built-in speakers inside the soundbar itself, including 2 side-firing drivers that handle that wide surround field. Pair that with the wired subwoofer, and you're essentially getting a clean 5.1-channel system without the clutter. The best part? It takes under a minute to get everything running. Plug in HDMI eARC, connect the subwoofer, and you're done. That's the kind of user-friendly experience that makes this setup appealing for people who don't want to mess around. Now, let's talk about sound. This soundbar isn't just throwing a bunch of drivers into a bar and calling it surround. It's powered by real Dolby Atmos with a proper 5.1-channel configuration, and the DSP chip inside is tuned for precision. The latency is under half a millisecond, which means when you're watching action-heavy scenes or playing games, the sound doesn't feel detached from what's happening on screen. That's crucial, because cheaper systems often fall apart in timing, making the whole experience less immersive. Here, the timing feels tight, responsive, and cinematic. Dialogue clarity is another area where this soundbar really shines. ULTIMEA is pushing something they call Voice MX, and it's not just a gimmick. Using advanced DSP algorithms, it isolates vocal frequencies from everything else happening in the soundtrack. So when you're watching movies or TV shows where music and sound effects are intense, voices don't get drowned out. I tested this with a couple of tricky scenes from movies like Interstellar and Blade Runner 2049, where the score usually overwhelms dialogue on cheaper soundbars, and the voices here remained crisp, front, and center. Even at lower volumes, the speech separation holds up, which is something that can be frustratingly rare in this price range. Of course, none of this would matter if the system didn't have the power to back it up, and with 300 watts of peak output, it definitely does. Inside the soundbar are 5 full-range drivers, each tuned to deliver clarity across mids and highs, and then you've got that dedicated subwoofer handling the lows. It's a wired sub, which may not sound as modern as wireless options. But here's the advantage: stability and punch. The subwoofer itself is built with an 18mm high-excursion driver inside a tuned wooden cabinet. That means you're getting deeper and tighter bass with better air displacement. Explosions feel more impactful, music has more groove, and even dialogue gains some body when voices dip into those lower frequencies. For a system this compact, the bass feels surprisingly refined, not just boomy, but textured and controlled. Speaking of bass, ULTIMEA is also including what they call Bass MX, which intelligently manages low-end outputs so it doesn't muddy up the mids. And honestly, it works. The system never felt bloated or overpowered by bass, which is a problem I've had with plenty of budget soundbars. Instead, it's balanced. You can push it hard during an action sequence, then switch to a dialogue-heavy drama, and it doesn't feel like you're constantly needing to readjust settings. Connectivity is also impressive here. The HDMI eARC port is the star of the show, supporting up to 37 megabits per second bandwidth. That's what allows you to unlock the full potential of lossless Dolby Atmos. Compared to standard ARC, which compresses audio, eARC keeps everything more detailed and spacious. And if you're into gaming, that makes a big difference because directional audio cues become much clearer. Plus, with SEC integration, your TV remote can control the soundbar, keeping things streamlined. Of course, ULTIMEA knows that enthusiasts want more control, and that's where the app comes in. The ULTIMEA app is surprisingly robust. You get a 10-band graphic EQ, over 100 preset sound profiles, and even the ability to fine-tune surround levels up to 13 steps. That means you can actually tailor the sound to your room layout, which is something most competitors just don't offer. Add Inota updates, and you've got a system that's not static. ULTIMEA can continue improving it with software tweaks. That's a smart move for a 2025 product because software-driven updates are quickly becoming a necessity in consumer tech. Wireless performance has also been updated with Bluetooth 5.4, which is not just marketing fluff,